Welcome to another edition of Ego on Break. We are having a little technical difficulties today with our equipment, but we're going to talk a little bit about BrickHouse Brown. There's several promotions had worked together to put on some BrickHouse Brown benefits. If you don't know about BrickHouse, he's I'd say just a vet of this area, this southern area, and he's dealing with cancer.
I don't know exactly what kind, bro.
The way I understand it, pretty much his body's ate up with it.
Yeah, cause
they gave him.
I thought he at least started chemo. He hadn't even started chemo.
No, I think
he's like 100 pounds down, bro.
Yeah, I think the story that I'm getting is it was too late. Or not necessarily too late, because they've only gave him like 6 months to live. So it might have been like, hey, do you want to do this, or you want to put up with being sick and all that kind of stuff, and it probably not helping.
Yeah,
so
kind of what he was saying.
Yeah, so a lot of guys came together. I think they've been 3 benefits so far to help raise money, just to kind of cover some, end of the lifetime needs, end of his life needs, that kind of thing. But we're going. You went to one. It was in Memphis.
Let's just say Tennessee, and I know I'll be right.
Yeah. Okay. So it was in Tennessee. And I think RSWF, the promotion up there, donated the building. So wherever that promotion's based out of, that's where the event happened. And then I know the next night in Crenshaw, Mississippi, there was a benefit for him there.
Yeah.
So we'll just tell some BrickHouse stories. We won't say that we're gonna bash the guy, but we'll tell some stories of our dealings with BrickHouse. He has been on Pro Wrestling Ego before. Matter of fact, last year, in Louisville at the Legend show we did with in conjunction with JD McKay, BrickHouse wrestled right in a street fight. Yep. So BrickHouse is a good dude for the most part. I mean, he's let's just say he's a wrestler's wrestler, and leave it at that. And just talk about the events. So
I got about 9 people. I believe it was 9 total, because everybody's just running around so much.
Oh yeah, I can only imagine.
By the time the show was over, I was happy with 9. You know what I mean? I
9 people just kind of telling about BrickHouse, or
what? I just told them, I said, say what you feel.
Yeah.
And I let them have their opportunity, and I'm gonna just string it all together. It's like one big long promo type
That's cool.
thing. And I got a video of what the crowd looked like, because it was a good-sized crowd. I was told about 400.
Oh, that's cool.
So
that's very good.
The first match they had was John Saxon and Vordell Walker, and if you thought they were going to phone it in, you were crazy as hell, because that was probably the best match on the card. Like,
that's awesome.
Honest to God. And then the second match was Purple Haze and
DJ Brown.
And that match was just as good.
DJ's really good, man.
That was a tie. I couldn't tell you which was the best match.
I mean, we know Purple is really good. I mean, we've seen him a lot.
But I'd never seen DJ before.
Yeah, I saw him one time. We worked with Mike Carter, CJ Cash on putting together an event in Kosciuszko, and DJ was on that, and I was like, man, he's really good. So. What else?
The next match was a 6-man, and I know this one side. I know Samoa and Raja was on it, and say these are guys I don't really know, so it's hard to tell you. But if you look online, you'll be able to find it. Go to RSWF, and you'll find it there.
But how was the match? I mean, we don't.
The match was great, man. It was really, really good. That's why I say. I mean, I didn't record it because they record, and I guess they sell DVDs and stuff.
Right.
So I mean, if you go to John Paul's page, you can see pictures of it.
That's John Paul Louis LeBlanc.
Yeah, we all rode up there. Me and him carried Brick all the way up, and we had a little bit of conversation. But Brick just kind of, he's there, but he's not.
Right.
So it's kind of hard to explain.
Well, I mean, I'm sure that's hard to deal with, And
we talked some, but just not a whole lot, because I know he's made it up, and he told us when we got there, like, he was seeing double.
Yeah.
Like, he recognized me, but he didn't recognize me. You know what I mean? So, as far as the show went, the last 2 matches were tag matches. The one tag team, the second match, I did not know, so I can't really tell you anything about them. But there were 2 huge black guys and then 2 huge white redneck guys, and they just beat the crap out of each other. Were like Power or
Pure
something?
Destruction.
That's it. Yeah.
That's Brody Hawk, I think.
Maybe.
I can't remember the guy's name, but they were up in that North Mississippi area. They run around with Jimmy Blaylock a lot.
And there was 2 huge black guys with chains around their necks.
That was probably going to be Bishop Cage.
That's
probably
him,
one of
yeah.
them.
And dude, I mean, it
I
was
can't
just
remember
a
his partner's
knockdown,
name.
drag out. I'm not even sure if the match ever even started. They
Oh,
brawled
yeah?
around the damn ring, you know.
That's cool. Pure Power, I think that's their tag team
I
name.
think so.
Yeah.
Well, so you had to forgive me. I don't know.
All right, what about the main event? How was?
It was Blaylock's team of the guy with the snake,
Mitch Toretta.
Mitch Toretta, and Real
Taylor?
Deal Neil Taylor against the Boogie Woogie Boy and
That's Gary Valiant.
yeah, and damn, that guy that runs promotion,
Soul Taker.
Soul Taker.
Yeah.
And it was pretty good.
Was Jimmy Valiant there?
Yeah, Jimmy was there. He was more or less.
Like managing or whatever?
He was the opposite side of Jimmy Blaylock.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was,
So I know there was quite a bit of legends that was announced. You had Iceman King Parson, you had Jacqueline from WWE,
no.
Sweet Georgia Brown,
She was there.
Bill Dundee,
Bill Dundee was there.
Jimmy Valiant.
Jimmy was there.
Did I say Iceman King Parsons?
Iceman wasn't there, but Snowman was there, which was the other half of the Blackbirds with BrickHouse, and they got in there and they all hugged and all that. I mean, one point there, like you literally couldn't take footage of the ring because it was full of everybody that was there.
Yeah.
And they let Brick come in. He said his little piece, and he cut a big rhyme, and it was long, but it was really, really good.
Brick and talk.
And Brick, like he more or less just rapped at the end.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna say it was a rap, but you know how they talk, street rhyming.
Yeah.
More or less.
He did his best Dusty impersonation.
It was good. It was really good.
So Reggie be fine. Did Reggie wrestle?
Yeah, Reggie wrestled Precious.
Okay.
Because Precious come out and said, "I see there ain't a whole lot of bricks left in your wall." Yeah, let's just say to cut the promo that he cut on BrickHouse, you better have a set on you, brother.
Yeah.
Because the fans are ready to eat him alive.
Well, that's pretty awesome. That's really good. You know, I know Precious, I don't know if he still does it. At one time, he was going up to OVW and training.
Mm-hmm.
So, or working, I ain't going to say training, but I know he was working up there. So, that was really cool to see him there. Same thing with Reg. I mean, he's a Memphis legend. You know, so, and I don't know a lot about the one that happened Saturday night in Crenshaw.
I know nothing about
the
it.
only thing I know that happened was Ron Horn versus Paul Wright.
Yeah. Because Brick stayed the night over and just went the next night to there.
And I believe that Wright defeated Ron Horn.
But me and John Paul both had to work the next day, so we couldn't go.
Yeah. I don't know how well the crowd, from the little bit of video that I saw in Crenshaw,
It was just in a
I'd say 50 people, something like that.
It's a firehouse. I say 50 to 100. Something
Yeah, okay.
like that.
So,
It's really hard to tell because the way the pictures are taken.
yeah.
So
Do you have a BrickHouse story that we can share? I mean, we all got stories, but some you don't want to share online.
Yeah,
but,
well, no, I mean, this one was okay because it was one night when I guess we were down in Jackson. Remember we was doing that bar?
Yeah.
Before the guy got assassinated? But, it's legit what happened, like legit.
At Mr. B's.
That's it, Mr. B's, and become Mr. Bullets later on. But, BrickHouse needs somebody to work. Bad. And we didn't really have anybody would just recommend. And I told him, I said, well, look, Frankie over here has been getting pretty good here in Mississippi, and he had been wrestling with you at Hard Knocks at the time. And I just told him, I said, try him out, man. I said, he'll listen. I said, because I wrestled Frankie at the time. And him and Frankie just went out there and had a really, really good match. But I always thought it was kind of cool that I helped him set that up, and you know, I was just more or less giving him my word, like this kid will at least listen to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
I think I remember that match. It was really good. I have a story about BrickHouse, and it's the same venue at Mr. B's, but I can't remember exactly if Mr. B's was like a bar, and then next door there was like a mom and pop restaurant, or
it was kind of like a little chain.
It was several of things right there together, but they were having. This was when President Obama was trying to get reelected for the first time. So they was having an Obama rally outside, which, you know, I don't know if we didn't know it was happening or what, but I don't understand why we ran at the same time, you know. But they were like, Brick was like, let's get some of these guys, let's get their attention. So he wrestled Brother Love, and they brawled out of the building into the Obama rally. So while they're out there, you know,
go over a table.
Man, they tore all kind of stuff up. So, but it was funny just to see the people scatter, because at first they didn't realize what was going on. They thought it was just a fight. And but I'm like, I love it. It was like they were out there preaching, kind of like, you know, we got to come together and blah blah blah. And then you got these two black guys throwing each other against the wall, and then when they realize one guy's in his underwear and the other one's in pajamas, they realize, oh, it's something else.
Yeah, I think Brick had on them long tights and Brother Love had on his red and black.
Yeah, so
a bodysuit more or less.
So when you know, at first you're like, oh my God, they're fighting, and then you realize, well, hold on, something ain't right here. So that was pretty funny.
That's what I say. I think they went over a table and then Love maybe dived off of the table and gave him a crossbody or something.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly. I mean, we've done a lot of shows, but I will never forget just the fact that they broke that. You know, here they are trying to, you know, come together to try to like rally and tell all the good things about the, you know, the future president.
There was some good wrestling going on. They just didn't know about it.
They just invaded it. So, but it got the attention. You know, like
it did.
I don't know if any more tickets were sold, but it got their attention. So
no, because that was the last show before the guy got assassinated. We never went back.
That may be why they got assassinated.
Possibly. Like they walked up behind the guy and tried him back at 80. You know? So.
But I know that's funny. Just a funny little story with Brick. And I had a conversation with Brick not too long ago. And he had called me and you know, hey, bring me in order. He was like, you know, I'm not going to charge you an arm and a leg. And I was like, you're just going to charge me a hand and a foot. And he got tickled, and that tickled me. So, we never did get to work out. I think he got sick right after that, and but I just thought that was cool that we had that little conversation, and was able to, you know, just have that relationship with a guy that's been everywhere. You know, I mean, he was The Rock's first partner. You know, like you know. Well, I'm just saying, like he had enough power in Memphis. And, you know, just to show his skill, like they were like, we've got this guy that has no idea what he's doing. We've got to put him in there with people, you know, that's gonna help hide him and teach him. And they put that on Brick, you know. So I mean, that right there should tell you something about him. That, you know, Jerry Lawler, you know, and those guys, whoever was running the promotion at the time, you know, they were grooming Flex Cavana to go to WWF. Yeah. You know, like it was already lined up. Like, we're going to send him down here for 6 months. Y'all get him ready to send us. And they set him under the learning tree of BrickHouse Brown. And I don't know how many people know that. But if you read The Rock's book, he had a book come out, you know, when, you know, 99, 2000, 2001, whenever there was like Foley and Angle and all those books coming out. The Rock had one out, and he talks about Brick just for a little bit. But it was really cool that you could say, hey, BrickHouse was the type of wrestler that, you know, the company entrusted to teach the future Rock.
Yeah, because I know he's in Cactus' book too.
Yeah.
The very first book. I say, you know, a guy that's been around a long time, but everybody knows him.
I mean, he, you know, and, you know, he's made decisions in his life that he'll have to answer to, but a lot of those decisions probably cost him from being a bigger star than he was.
That's possible.
And it's not a knock on him, because I'm sure at the time he thought those were the right decisions. Yeah. But hindsight being 2020, you know, and I even know he had a relationship with Hunter, because at one time he was being considered as a referee. And I don't know what happened with that, and I guess that's a conversation between Brick and Hunter that happened, but they were talking about bringing him in exclusively to SmackDown and kind of be that veteran referee, you know, veteran kind of on the road, and he was going to be a referee. So, you know, had that happened, you know, how cool would that have been? That's true. Because I know, what is it, Scott Armstrong? Yeah. You know, he does that. You know, that's his kind of role, is that guy that's been around, and he's now the referee.
And he wrestles on the weekend.
Yeah. So, just a little, you know, BrickHouse trivia that may not everybody know, but it's still super cool in my book. Yeah. You know, just being considered for a spot. You know, to have that spot in WWE. You know, so.
Yeah, we'll wind up seeing what happens. I don't know. I can't say the man looked good, because he didn't.
Right.
You know, and I remember there was many times I was literally carrying the guy.
Yeah.
Not carrying him, but, you know, make sure he held his balance.
So it's one of those things, you know,
Never think you got it all.
Is this
because
legit?
It may
It's
vanish
legit,
tomorrow,
huh?
bro. It's as legit as
Yeah.
it gets. Like how you go from bam to
Yeah. And I know there's several funds. I know there's a GoFundMe page set up in BrickHouse's name.
But, yeah.
So if you're watching this and you want to donate to BrickHouse, there's a way to do that. All you got to do is just search BrickHouse Brown on Facebook, and you can find all types of information where people are, we're the next. I think there's going to do a couple more benefit shows.
I think two that I know of, but I don't know who it is.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say. I
So,
don't know.
check those out if you're in the area. You can, maybe hit those up. Check out the GoFundMe page. The last time I looked at it, wasn't a lot of money had been donated, but if you feel it to donate it, donate it. And if you just want to hear Brick, tell all the business there is, go check out his shoot interviews. You can get those at High Spots. Those are for sale. I'm sure he gets a portion of that. So go buy a shoot interview. If you want to hear dirt, it's there.
But, I mean, there were literally wrestlers that weren't able to come to the show.
Mm-hmm.
That were sending him envelopes, and I just assuming they're envelopes with either checks or money.
Yeah, I'm sure it wasn't.
I mean,
food stamps in the world of Pork Chop Cash.
They passed the
food
bucks.
stamps.
They passed a box around giving out money. They auctioned off a watch, a really, really nice watch, just all kinds of stuff. And he got all the money from the food,
the
pictures,
well,
anything
cool.
that was sold that night.
That's very cool. I mean, Brick's had his past, but at the end of the day, Brick's a pretty good dude.
Yeah, like he told us in the end, he said he was wanting to go to these shows so bad. He goes, because now all I can do is sit in this damn house, and he goes, it's about to drive me crazy.
I'm sure from a guy that's traveled. I'm not gonna say the world, but he's traveled. The United States.
When he wanted,
exactly.
If he wanted.
So I'm sure it is. That's probably killing him more than cancer.
Yeah.
But I wish I'd came a little better prepared and maybe had like some matches to suggest and that kind of thing.
Go look up him and Paul Rudd. I'll put it out there
Paul
again today because
really
it was good.
Had a great brawl.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Do you know if that was Brick's last match?
I honest to God don't know, man. I almost there and say it was. Maybe Mississippi.
Possible. I haven't seen him anywhere else in Mississippi.
Yeah.
So that's cool that on Ride that he can say I at least had his last match in Mississippi.
One of his last matches.
Yeah.
Within the last good year of his life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was
absolutely. So that's a cool.
He was jacked.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you couldn't tell.
That's what I'm saying.
If he was sick, he didn't show it.
That's why when everybody goes, he's got cancer, I'm like, I kind of gave that side eye,
Like
and then I saw the picture,
and
I'm like, oh, okay, he's fucked up. So, and then I saw it, and I was like, wow, he really is.
I've got back before I ever got into the wrestling business, I've got a picture of myself and Brick, and it was back when Polaroids exist, and so it's a Polaroid. He signed it. I've got to dig that up and find it. Maybe I can share that on my Facebook page or whatever. I don't even know. I've moved several times since then, so I don't even know where it may be. But if I can find it, I'll definitely throw that out there. Got anything coming up? Any videos or anything? You're gonna do the?
I'm gonna do this little collage. It's like I said, it's about 9 people, and then I just took the camera and just kind of followed through the crowd to kind of show you what was there. It's packed, bro. It, like I told you, it reminded me of Battlezone back in the day, but it had about 300 people.
Yeah.
And I mean, this was the loudest crowd I've ever seen. Like, they never shut up, ever.
That's awesome.
Even in matches like I would have never got into, they never shut up.
Yeah. Well, they were familiar with those people.
That's what I'm saying.
So that's always good. I'm glad that it had a good turnout.
Yeah.
We'll throw some things out. Pro Wrestling Ego's next couple events. June 24th, we're back at the Hideaway. Again, that's John Davis, Joey Abel for the Pride title. Joey Abel gets his rematch. And we've got July 22nd coming up at the Hideaway. We don't have a lot booked for that already. We do have a carload of guys coming in from St. Louis.
Okay.
In that area, we're getting about 5 Michael Elgin students. So we're going to call that show Out with the Old. Take that how you would like it. That may be a quote unquote shot at the experience. Since they're wanting to get all up in Ego's business. So we've got that. We do have Ray Fury, the Boot Boys, Orion Taylor booked for those as well. And then August 26th, we're back at the Hideaway again. We're gonna have some women come back in. We had it's kind of been the tradition of the last year or so or 2 years to have women at least once or twice. So we've got a group of girls coming in. So if you want to see some ladies wrestling, and some ladies that you haven't ever seen in Mississippi, because the majority of these girls are coming from out of state, check that out as well. So that's kind of just right off the top of my head the events I could remember. So just check out Life in a Headlock. There is a new 10 Questions of Doom. I say new, it's been out a couple of weeks, and we interview the mystery opponent.
Yeah, that is, man.
So if you've ever wondered, a little more information about the mystery opponent, he answers some questions.
There you go.
So check those out. Until next time, later, guys.